Hello, everybody. Good morning. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Welcome to Coffee and Crowdfunding. It's me, Laser, and I am so happy you are here today. I'm so happy you want to talk about crowdfunding and talk about your projects. There's a bunch of people here who I haven't seen in a while. There's some new folks, and I know there's some folks who sent me questions ahead of time, so that's amazing. Let me know if you can hear and see me. Let me know where you are on your project. So that is something that I really want to know as we get into this. Um, I know where some of you are, um, but let me know what I can do to help you by telling me what your what your let me see. I can pull up my timeline for you. Here we go. Play in window. Share screen. Boom. Look at this awesome timeline and tell me where in this timeline you are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I know a lot of you are at 7 right now. You've launched your crowdfunding campaign, which is amazing. Um, but are you deciding who you are as an artist and your goals for the year? Are you deciding on your next project and goals, creating a mission statement? Are you becoming discovery ready? Are you growing your audience through content collaboration and community? Are you planning the logistics of your crowdfunding campaign already? Planning the promotion of your crowdfunding campaign? Launching that crowdfunding campaign? And or creating and releasing that big project. So let me know where you are on your timeline, just in the chat. Yeah, you don't need to do video. It's just me on the video. Um, Let me know where you are with a number. 5 to 6 on Jenny. Yes, Jenny, you have done some awesome job. You know who you are as an artist. I know you know your goals and your mission statement. We have talked before. Um, Jen, I know you are at 7. Oh, Scrap Arts Music, you're here. Hi, Justine. Growing that audience. That's great. Roberto, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us what you're making. Valerie, tell me where you are. Tell me what the latest is. Um, Tell me what I can do to be most helpful to you today. I have a bunch of questions that I already have to answer, so I'm going to hop right into those. Yes, between 4 and 7 is a super common place to be. Yeah, stop that share, start my video. It's me again, and my hair looks great. So go ahead and drop me in the comments. Those of you who haven't already emailed me, tell me what you're working on. Tell me your idea for a project and where you're stuck. And I'm going to hop right into some of the work that... which one am I going to do first? I don't see Bethan here yet, so I'm going to go do Jen stuff. All right. Valerie, oh, planning a book launch for December. That's so exciting. Sounds like an exciting plan. All right. So the first thing I wanted to talk about today is Jen's amazing project. Look at this. Jen has launched Our Kind of Strange, a new album by the Faithful Sidekicks. This has been a long time coming. And I am very excited that it is launched. It's 50% funded. You're going to be totally fine. But we wanted to talk about kind of maximizing your impact. And one of the things that I wanted to work on with you was your Kickstarter updates. Hooray! Oh, I see. Okay. Guest musicians. I see. Okay, cool. So you have a bunch of guest musicians here. So I did send you an email and I said that I think that probably 1 to 2 guest musician posts on the actual Kickstarter page would probably be good, but each of those would make a really good social media post. So if you found a really nice picture of each of those guest musicians, let's look at those one more time. Then that would be a really good way to be posting about your project on Facebook. Yeah, I think finding some ways to combine them is a good idea. Let's look at your page. Oh, yay! This is a really good way, by the way, to do a post about a Kickstarter update. To put the link to the Kickstarter update, but put a photo with it, because Kickstarter updates aren't interesting visually, but a photo with it is great. Love it. 60% funded on Kickstarter. Hooray! A new video. Hooray! A blog. Hooray! I really wish that there was a different way to do this text, because this is nothing. All right. This is fun. I like this like longer post about your project. That's great. Okay, so this doesn't have a link to your Kickstarter. All of your posts on Facebook, the headline of them seems to just be, we are number days in, we are blank percent funded. And I think that there are more interesting things to post about. So that's kind of what I wanted to do today, was go into our awesome crowdfunding campaign posting plan and play with some ideas for your project. So your project ends on 14 days to go, Tuesday, October 27th. That's when your project ends. And I have a great worksheet for this. So we're gonna do some work making a plan for you, because that is a fun thing for me. Let me know if this is helpful, because I know that the distinction between updates and social media updates was confusing for you, and I get it. You have a lot of really great content ideas. How did I do this so wrong? Today is a Thursday. Oh, because weekends have 2 days in them. All right. I get it now. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 17, 18, 16. So this is a really fun thing to do with your project, to plan your posts, because likely, and this is for everybody, likely you have just like so much to talk about. And I want to make sure that you get a bunch of interesting stuff out there in the world, and talk about it. Okay, so let's see. You have, you know what? I'm just gonna share my whole screen. New share. And you'll see my comments as well. Okay. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's great. So today, about. So I think on like Facebook, about the collaborators, whoever you have the best picture of, maybe, and Jessica, 50 words about them, link to the Kickstarter. I would do the same on Twitter. We have, and Instagram. About our collaborators. Oh, this is very small for you, I bet. There we go. And Jessica from the PDX Broadsides RA. And then you mention them. And then I would do this every day. Or maybe every other day. So you have a lot of great collaborators. Okay. I'll send this to you too, Jen. So. This is basically a calendar that shows you how to post. So every day, there's a lot of different places you need to update. You know, you've got to update your Kickstarter page, you've got to update your social media pages, and you've got to update all your other places as well. It's fun. Okay. So, yeah, maybe we're doing 2 of these a week. Because I feel like every day at this point would probably be a lot. So we're doing that Tuesday. We're doing it, this is Thursday. I know I put my dates wrong. Don't really know why. I'm just kind of fun like that. We could do this Monday. We could do it Wednesday. We could do it Saturday. Okay. So those are your social media posts for those days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In terms of an actual Kickstarter update, maybe this day. Kickstarter blog post. Mega post could go up this Thursday day about errors with links to all of them. Why aren't you letting me do the thing I want to do? Up 8. I know you already did a Kickstarter update today. Awesome. Okay. So, there are some plans. You had told me about some other things you have going on. You're going to get a kitten, which is incredible. Let me see my schedule. This weekend, you're getting a kitten. Yes. This is amazing. This is amazing and good, and you should be talking about it a lot. Let's put that. Okay, so I think you should put your kitten. Okay, hold on. We got to move this. Because kitten is going this day. Kitten. Kickstarter update. We got a kitten. Most exciting news ever. And then the Facebook is meet our kitten. And then the full story is here, and then you link to the Kickstarter update. Same here. This is when you exploit your kitten for content. I would put the very exciting news that you got a kitten and a picture of your cute kitten only on your Kickstarter page for the first day. Obviously, on the second day, you put your kitten everywhere. Okay, so yeah, how are we doing that? I think maybe gonna bump some of your collaborators. Our kitten loves you and wants... All right. Maybe picture of kitten. We have another mouth to feed. Better back our Kickstarter. LOL, JK. Kickstarter. I mean, I'm only kind of kidding though. All right. Why do you do this? Why is my life terrible? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Okay. You also said you're doing some baking. And I think that baking is a great opportunity to do some updates. So let's make that a Kickstarter update as well. This Thursday. Baking up the album. And this could be a post not just about baking, but also a post about so this could be a recipe for baking, but also about the two of you working together, not just on the album, but on baking. Sorry, I gotta... turn on my charger. There we go. Did that work? Maybe. Hope so. Okay. So that's a fun Kickstarter update idea. And then social media posts, picture of baked good, link to Kickstarter update. Great. So now we're really filling this up, which is awesome. What are we writing about tomorrow? Let me see if you gave me any more hot stuff. Mixing process. Or we're baking a thing in the next few days. Okay, so that could be sooner. Alrighty. Let us once again share the screen. I know how to use technology. Okay, so we can move baking up to perhaps all right, hold on. I'm moving things around. It's okay. Moving that up to Thursday. Okay. Yeah. And then in between, things that you can be doing. I mean, obviously, collaborator features are awesome. as filler content because you have so many, which is excellent. The other thing you could do is repost videos. Post a video of a song that is on the album. People don't, not everybody has watched or listened to every song every time you've posted. So post a video recording a video or recording of a song that is on the album. That is a very good idea. And talk a little about it. And that's obviously direct link on Facebook. Jen, do you still have a weekly project that you're doing and when is that posting? Please tell me. Please tell me. Because I know you've been doing weekly videos at some point. Wednesdays you post a video. Okay. Well then. Weekly Geek Out. Excellent. Okay, we have a pretty nice calendar here. Okay, so let's talk about a couple more things. Awesome. There could be a Kickstarter update. How board games influence our lives and our music. With weekly Geek Out board game video embedded in it. Link to it from all socials. Okay. Alrighty. And then I would say what you need is to plan an email blast to your email list on Tuesday. And the subject is, we have never been this cute. And it starts with a real kitten is inside. And then there's a picture. And then you do that is sent out. The Faithful Psychics World. The Kickstarter for our next album. Great. If you haven't yet, to be a part of our biggest, most album. And then put what's happening? more times. All right. Let's send out at. Great. So email blast to your email list on Tuesday to do like a final week push. And probably an email blast. I imagine you said you're doing another concert after you hit 75% backed. Okay. That's great. Are you doing a live stream in the last week? And then okay. This sample schedule is in the class. So, all right. I think that I have done enough micromanaging here. Oh, yay! So this is a concert. Okay. Whatever it is, make sure to promote it. And make sure to do lots of links to your Kickstarter when you do it. Okay. So please post at least this often. Yeah, I can do that. About your project. Please, 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 please. I'm going to rename this Jen's calendar. And I will, oops. Email that to Jen right now so I don't forget, and I will upload a sample like that to the description of this video for later. Okay, folks, let's go back to all the questions that you were asking me. Okay, scrap arts. My idea is to generate some income toward a military awesome. Okay, working on growing the list. Awesome. You still got stuff to do. That's awesome. Cool, cool, cool. Love it. I have, I think, recently updated the collaboration unit, Justine, since you were taking the class. So I would go back and take a look at that because there's a lot of new stuff in there. And I also, I think in the playlist link at the top of this page have also done some work on collaboration and stuff. Have done a whole video about community and accessing community that might be helpful if you weren't here for that one. Alrighty, we got a question from Bethan. Bethan launched, well, first of all, I wanted to show you all Jenny, former client Jenny, who raised 5,000 on Kickstarter and 5,000 off of Kickstarter. Oh yeah, and other Jenny, please go ahead and drop your questions. Just finished recording her album, and I'm so proud of her. Look at this great Kickstarter update. Just, this is actually a really great thing, Jen, for you to look at. Jenny's Kickstarter updates are really lovely. So, 6 days of recording with many guest musicians, including a list of musicians, really short. And then just like this really bright, beautiful, smiling picture of people in masks. she does a good job, just like concise, bright, beautiful updates. And I'm just so happy that she has finished recording her album. So, good job. Alrighty, Bethan. This is day 1. We are up to almost 10%, which is great. Okay. So I know you had some questions about a few things. Let me clear out. Okay. Bethan. Okay. I have too many emails from you. Here it is. I opened with a Facebook Live. Awesome. Backers may need a bit of warming up. I have sent out an email blast. Gonna run an ad with the promotional video. That's great. A couple of my older fans are having trouble pledging. A problem registering for the pre-launch. Yes. Yeah, people who have technical problems with the Kickstarter website. This is not unusual. So I have a couple things to say to that. First of all, people who give excuses for not backing often are people who aren't going to back. They're just people who give excuses for everything. I was actually just talking to my husband about this because he is a high school teacher, middle and high school teacher, and we're both, and he especially is very good at sniffing out whether an excuse is real or not. Some people are just giving an excuse, and for the most part, just ignoring it and moving on is probably the best, because they're the kind, they may be the kind of person that no matter how much help you give them, they're gonna find a reason not to do it. So that's one answer to your question. The other answer is, and Jenny, I do see your questions, and I'm going to come to you next. Just so you know, please keep doing what you're doing. And also, Roberto, the same. I am definitely going to get to your questions, so don't feel ignored. I'm just doing one thing at a time. Is that there are some people for whom crowdfunding on Kickstarter is technologically difficult. So I've been talking to Jenny and my former client, Jenny, and I also did the same thing, which is it's okay to take donations off of Kickstarter. So what this client did is, in addition to running this Kickstarter, she also had a donation drive. Okay. To fund the entire project, I'm also doing an arts commissions drive. This will function outside of Kickstarter, and it's a campaign to book 10 commissioned pieces of art before the end of 2019. All the proceeds of my art sales will go into funding your project. If you want to support my project that way, click here. So this is about knowing your audience and knowing what kind of people you have in your audience. So if you have a part of your audience that is relatively tech savvy, I mean, Kickstarter, the website, is as easy to use as Amazon, is as easy to use as any other website where you buy things, but that is still too much for some people. So if you have a relatively tech savvy audience, some of those folks will be totally fine using Kickstarter. They'll understand it. They'll grok it. But for folks who didn't grow up with online shopping, of just a different generation, having a different and much, much simpler process is a good idea as like an alternate path for donation. So what Jenny did was she had this art commission drive. So this page, it's got some pretty pictures, and all it is a very simple form, right? I think during the campaign, there was like a little bit about pricing. But she was like, I want to get some commissions during this campaign. If you want to commission me to paint you a picture for $500, just let me know and we'll talk. And all of this was a bunch of work on her end of back and forth emailing. And she raised over 5,000. I think she actually raised a lot more, $5,000 just doing this with people who are older, who are not as Kickstarter savvy, but who are willing to donate a lot of money, who are willing to really patronize the arts. And so she used that money to record the album. Is that making sense? Yeah, so this is a very good idea for those of you who have an audience who may not be exactly within the Kickstarter demographic. So in your case, if you want to reach out to those people individually and say, well, if you want, I can send you a private link. I can set up a very simple website for you where you can just donate to the project. Sometimes people just like want to write a check. That's totally fine. In your case, I looked at these comments and they don't seem to be people like, I really want to give you money and I can't. They seem to be people like, I don't understand and I hate it. And I'm mad and I'm angry. So I wouldn't go out of your way to help those folks. But if people are reaching out to you and saying like, boy, Beth Ann, I really want to support you and I don't understand this website, go ahead and figure out a way to take their money in a different way. You can say, well, if you want to commission a piece, like you could create a separate website if you wanted to, if you think that the demand is there. And again, this is about knowing your audience. But if you think the demand is there to have like a separate commission drive, something like that, that is the answer to that question. Next question. Promo for the campaign. Right. Okay. So I'm looking at your page. This is great. So crowdfunding campaign now open is awesome. Pre-order for now, album plus exclusive items. So this is good. I think maybe we need to lean a little bit more into the mission. So this is less about like if the headline of this year is Bethan is making an album. I think that's the headline, right? The headline is I'm finally making an album of beautiful Welsh music. The headline is not I'm crowdfunding and there's a pre-order and there's buttons and there's logistics, right? So I would lean into like I'm finally making an album. My dreams are coming true. This music is beautiful. I don't remember if I have your mission statement. No, yeah, you told me it's bringing visibility to Welsh music. Let's look at this page. I took time to raise my daughter, a soundscape of subtle beats, music that will relax, soothe, and enchant listeners. Music comes straight from me to you. Okay, so there's all kinds of beautiful stuff here, right? All this says is give me money. So I would change your branding into Bethania debut album. You know, Bethania support the debut album as opposed to crowdfunding campaign. Is what I'm saying making sense? It's so let's look at your email. My Kickstarter campaign is now open. And I'm going to compare that to the last time I launched a Kickstarter where the title was We're Making a New Album. These are two different statements. So when somebody sees this is I finally launched a way for you to give me money, and this is we're creating art. And I think that distinction is important. So just keep that in mind. I mean, your opening here is beautiful. The sun is peeping through the clouds. Despite the local lockdown, I hope you are finding moments of magic. Like, that's exactly your stuff. I'm excited to announce that my crowdfunding campaign is open. No, you're excited to announce that I'm finally making an album and you can be part of it. And the album is called Finale. What does that mean? And I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. I want to give you music to relax to. Get rid of this. I want to give you music to relax to and focus on the beautiful Welsh landscape and, just, nail all that stuff down. If you have any questions, reply to this email. This is not a link. And then Bethania, open a secret door to the magic of Welsh music is what this should say. Limited time to be part of it. In love and light, Bethania. So when you send this same email out tomorrow to everybody who didn't open this one or who didn't click on this one, I want you to do exactly the thing I just said, right? So, finally my album is coming, or I'm making an album. I think it's just I'm making an album. I'm recording music, or I know you've already recorded it, but I'm making an album is totally fine. This is great. But then I'm excited to announce that my dreams are coming true and I'm making an album. I took some time off to raise my daughter and wrote some music. I'm so excited that I get to share it with you. The album is called Finale, which means this. Click here to support it. It's only possible because of you incredible people who support me and watch my videos and blah, blah, blah. Bethan. Okay? That is my suggestion. And that's the same thing for Kickstarter and for everywhere. I mean, you have good engagement here. And I love this. I imagine this is just what Wales looks like all the time. It's just your house is in the beautiful fairy grotto, which is lovely. And I love that you have a link here. That's great. 125 comments. Amazing. I love Galadriel saying Facebook Live. I mean, you're doing a good job, and you're going to be fine. But just lean into that mission statement stuff. This is the mission statement. If you started my class, is the first thing that I ask you to do is tell me why you're doing what you're doing, because you want to talk about that as much as humanly possible. It's so much more interesting than everything else. I mean, talk about this. I've played the harp for wedding and events, and it's a lot of fun, but I'm finally get to record my own original music. Like, that's a beautiful thing. Like, I want to support that. I want to support that. And you haven't given me the chance to understand that in any of the other posts. You have such a good story. You just haven't given me the chance to hear it yet. Okay. Okay, stop share. Now I'm going to hop on over to the comments and see if I can help anybody there. If there's anything else that I missed, let me know. Hi, Fionn Jane. Okay, I have some questions from Jenny. Hold on. Roberto, did you ask questions earlier? I'm creating a campaign to pay for my studies in America. I'm from Italy and unfortunately do not have a funds and scholarships to support tuition fee at Berklee College of Music. I hear ya. Berklee is expensive. Okay. Let's go on down to your information. In your opinion, is it correct and can it bring profits to open crowdfunding on multiple platforms? Maybe Italians see GoFundMe more, in other countries people check more other platforms. I would stick to one platform at least at a time. Sometimes people do crowdfund multiple places. I mean, I've certainly crowdfunded multiple places in my life, but I think that crowdfunding in for the same thing in multiple places is weird. I mean, if your crowdfunder is for your education, GoFundMe makes sense because GoFundMe is a place just to ask people who already know you to support you in that they don't expect anything in exchange. So for what you're doing, I think GoFundMe is the right choice. If you're going to make something, and in order to use Kickstarter, you have to be creating a creative project. You have to. You then I would just do pick something, and I would pick Kickstarter. So that is my answer to that question. Just do one thing at a time because it's a lot of work, and you want to seem focused, and you don't want to seem like you're just doing a money grab. Like this is about collaboration, it's about community. It's really not just about you getting money. That's not what crowdfunding is about. It's about creating something and using your community to access something. If truly all you're going to do with your money is go to school, which is awesome, but you're not going to give anything back to your community, what you're doing is basically a GoFundMe type campaign. And you're going to be accessing people who already know you. And if you don't already have people who know you that can fund a full education, then you need to do a lot of work ahead of time to build an audience, maybe by creating videos online, sharing your art online, and that kind of thing. If you want to create something and by creating something raise a bunch of money to go to school, an album, an EP, like even an EP that you record in your house, that's awesome, but you're still going to have to build an audience before anybody will back it. You need to have an audience before you launch a project. The money doesn't exist inside the platform. The money exists with the audience, the community that you bring to the platform. All right, Jenny has questions. Okay, so Jenny and I have been working on creating a two-pronged strategy, just so everybody else knows what's going on with Jenny. Hold on, let me see if I finished up Roberto. Oh, I prepared some gift supporters. I have a partial scholarship. Awesome. Okay. Jenny is crowdfunding her first album. I'm so excited. And this is another thing we're working on, which is a like other Jenny, a holiday card thing, or like people can sponsor an individual video. Because I think that Jenny, like Beth Ann, like my other Jenny, has an audience of folks who don't understand Kickstarter. She has some potential wealthy patrons that I think would be interested in supporting the art, but don't have possibly the technical know-how or trust in the internet. So I was suggesting creating a separate page to just do some high-level, like $150 to $200 individual Christmas videos or something like that. So, Jenny, would the different price parts for the Christmas cards be donation points, or would I have upgraded offerings? I was just suggesting donation points because you were saying that you wanted it to be less money. I mean, you could also just have it be all of them at $150. But those, for me, those are just, how much do you want to give? Do you want to give me $100? Do you want to give me $300? I would put them at that high, but I know it's hard to convince people to ask for money. Yeah, there's different donation points. Just kind of pay what you can kind of vibe. Would the Christmas single be a great idea for the launch day new art? Yes. One of the things that I suggest in my class is having launch day art, something for people to get excited about on day one of your campaign. And because, especially if you're going to try to get press, which I honestly don't even recommend these days. But it's people. Person launches campaign is not news to anyone who doesn't already know about you. So if you want anybody to care or write about you who isn't already a fan, then creating new art and launching it on the first day of your campaign is a good idea. So the Christmas single is a great idea, or you could launch it mid-campaign, Jenny. Maybe do 5G on Kickstarter with stretch goals? Yes. I talk about stretch goals later in the class, but as long as you can make your original art with 5,000 and then you will announce your stretch goals once you either reach 5,000 or get like 75% there. Thoughts on using Merchly? I don't know what Merchly is. Hold on. Custom t-shirts. Oh, okay. These are individual printed t-shirts. That's fine. I always do hand screen printed shirts from a local vendor for a few reasons. One, I have been burned before. Like my favorite band, They Might Be Giants, prints terrible t-shirts. And I am a huge fan of them, but I don't buy their t-shirts because their t-shirts are bad because they don't care. Merchly is probably a fine company. I would test it out. I would get a sample t-shirt. They probably are fine, but I prefer doing things locally just for ethical reasons, but also because I want the shirt to be really good. I always order a shirt that I would want to wear. I always order a shirt that's like soft and comfortable. And also, if you order locally, the minimums are usually much lower, and the shirts are going to last longer. The ink isn't going to rub off. So that's my vibe on t-shirts. For enamel pins, which are the king of merch as far as I'm concerned, I will order cheap ones from China and I don't care. But my go-to for enamel pins, which I've probably talked about on this stream before, is wizard pins. And they are amazing. Look at these cute pins. Enamel pins are amazing. You can charge $10 to $20 for them. And get a really good, really cute design, and you can make something really amazing for your audience. I have made a ton of money on enamel pins. Let me show you. I ran a Kickstarter just to reprint enamel pins, and we made $11,000 just for that, just to print these 2 enamel pins. Enamel pins are great. We did 1 pin for $10, 2 pins for $20, 5 pins for $50, 10 pins for, you get it. Enamel pins are awesome. Sell enamel pins. Okay. Next question. When talking about venues with relationships with as possible sponsors, backers, cross promotion, free concerts, etc. Yeah, I mean, I would reestablish relationships right now because it's probably been a while since you've talked to anybody because it's quarantine. You don't want to get too deep into like merch and stuff because they that can make things complicated. But if you have like clients that want you to do a virtual house concert, and you can either promote your Kickstarter to them or just make some money that way, I mean, I think that's a great idea. If you have time to do it, absolutely. Venues you have relationships with, if they want to host a live stream on their page, like absolutely do it. You can do it. Oh, would it be best to start using Twitter more or just leave it because I haven't been? I wouldn't start using it more. I would just make sure you have it and make sure it's up to date. So like when you launch your Kickstarter, you'll tweet about it and you'll make that your pinned tweet. You'll update your bio that you're kickstarting. It's more just so that if people tag you on Twitter, that anybody who goes and looks you up can find you. I wouldn't leave, certainly. I wouldn't like erase your account, but I would don't stress if you don't have a bunch of people on there. You're probably fine. Don't stress about it. Certainly don't tie your Instagram to your Twitter and have your Twitter tweet every time you post an Instagram with just a link to your Instagram. Please, nobody do this. This is the most annoying thing you could do. Don't do that. Don't have things auto tweet from other social media platforms. Don't do that because then you're just spamming useless information. Better just to not tweet anything. Okay. Why am I doing this again? Because you're an incredible writer, Valerie, and you have amazing things to say, and I love you, and I'm so proud, and you're powerful, and you're great. Can you please clarify again how often we should email in a week, Beth Ann? I think, Beth Ann, you should email once a week. And then in the first week, you can send a second email the second day to people only who didn't open the first email. So I guess that's technically 2 emails, but it's only to people who didn't open the first email. But other than that, just be emailing once a week and pause all your automated emails right now. So Christmas cards platform the same time as the Kickstarter campaign. Jenny, well, honestly, when we talked about the Christmas cards, we were talking about you launching the Kickstarter later, like in January. I was thinking you would do the Christmas cards to figure out how much money, to see how much you could raise doing those in November and December, to see how much you needed to raise on Kickstarter in January. But if you want to do it all at the same time, you can. That sounds like a lot of fun. Bye, Roberto. Thank you for showing up. Yeah, you can launch them at the same time. Also, when I was talking about the Christmas cards for you, I think my suggestion was to just do those, like send it out, ask your, yeah, you can email me. That's totally fine. You could ask like the country club that you work with to email that link privately to them. Like this wouldn't be like a super public Facebook thing, but more of a targeted post that goes only to your older fans and your high level fans that donate a lot of money to you. So this isn't something that you're like constantly promoting, rather a private targeted fundraiser that goes to an email blast to the country club and people you know who are in that category. Does that make sense, Jenny? So I think you can launch it at the same time if you want. I think you can launch it earlier or later if you want. I think it's going to be a lot to be doing all at the same time. Probably, I mean, I guess my recommendation might be to see how it is going so that you can, when you set your Kickstarter goal, you know exactly how much you need to raise. Because like if this raises $6,000 immediately, then you're fine and you don't need to do a lot more. Or if it raises not that much, then you need to kind of re-strategize your Kickstarter. So, but either way, I mean, I know you want to launch by the end of the year, which is fine. Your Kickstarter, totally okay. But if you are able to kind of stagger them, that was sort of my thought with that strategy was do these Jenny Grams first. And they don't have to be holiday cards. I mean, you could do the standard Jenny Gram thing that you've been doing. Holiday is just a nice deadline for people. But then you'd probably get most of your orders between like mid-November to mid-December, which is late. So you could actually launch the holiday Jenny Grams a little later if you wanted to. But I think the first thing before you think about launching those is just checking in with the country club to see if they're willing to send out an email, making a list of all your targets for that. And yeah. But certainly if you have the Kickstarter thing going and people and you're able to provide this alternative for folks who are like, I saw you were doing a fundraiser and I have no idea how it works. Having this alternative is a really good idea. So I think just I know that I threw this idea at you. So having a clear idea of what you want to do is probably the smartest idea. And so we talked about this yesterday of like, if something feels uncomfortable, it's probably wrong. And you know your audience the best, and doing what other people tell you to do just because they tell you to do it, even if it doesn't feel right, it never pays off. So just kind of figure out what feels right, and you're take all the things that I've told you and then process them. Okay. Everybody, that is it for this week of coffee. I am here every week unless something terrible happens. So please come back. Feel free to send emails to, I believe my email address is somewhere on this page, I believe below. If you have additional questions, then I can answer them next week at this office hour. Or if you're one of my clients, I will email you back, or one of my students. I'm proud of you. You can really do this. Crowdfunding is amazing, and you are amazing. And I hope you have an incredible day.